Am I recording? Yep. All right, welcome back to another episode of Life in the PI, the daily ride. So it is 1:47. I had coffee this morning. Actually, I had coffee twice. I had coffee at Freak and I had coffee at Pedal and Pump in Apollo. So had my breakfast and my coffee at Freak, and then had like a little a kefir shake, a kefir and mango shake. If you're not familiar with kefir, do a little research. It's like a very super healthy probiotic type deal. I don't know too much about it. Will was bringing me up to speed on it, so I'd never had a kefir shake. It's something he's making, but I'm on my way to lunch now, and you get to see how I color code everything. I'm getting old. I got all my doors. It's just easy. A little bit of nail polish. You never have to fumble around for what key goes where. And another thing I do is, isn't that cool? Just snap in your phone. You got a little, if it's raining, a little rain visor. But normally I sync I don't know if you can see it in the mirror here. I sync my phone to my headset, to my intercom, which the intercom can be used to talk to my daughter. This is a super cheap one. It's like the most basic Gear IO version they have. And it's good for a pod of two, meaning me and my daughter or whoever's on back can communicate, or I can switch over. Unfortunately, it doesn't do both at the same time. It's one or the other. You can switch from intercom mode, or you can switch to, phone mode, where I can listen to my phone, or and I usually, what I do is I listen to my downloads, so whenever I'm on my scooter, with the exception of when I'm recording, which hasn't been too often lately, I really spend most of my time learning Cebuano, because it's a way to make your time riding, which I enjoy. I guess that's already beneficial and useful, because it's good for your soul. But you can make it doubly beneficial by learning Cebuano at the same time. So I've got some teachers that make it really fun. I've talked about them time and time again. Teacher Judy, Teacher Jonah, and there's another one that she never says her name. I wish she would say her name more. I wonder if I do that in my videos. Do I say my name enough? So I'm on my way to Dumaguete because I want some good sushi, and I have to pick up Ushi at 3:15. It's 1:50. It'll take me about 15 minutes to get into town. That gives me just enough time to order my food, eat, and then go pick up Ushi in Sibulan. So I'm basically going from Valencia to Dumaguete to Sibulan, back to Valencia. And once again, I'm on the beach. And when I bought my ADV, I never thought I would have chose my beat over my ADV. But for city riding, I do prefer the beat. If I'm touring, if I'm going to Bacolod or Cebu or another island, or a trip that may be several hours, yes, I'd prefer the ADV. But this thing's just so easy to handle, so zippy. Yeah, great. 60-pound Bobby. I've kind of normalized on an 18-hour diet, fasting, intermittent fasting technically. I don't think that's too extreme. Some people do OMAD, 1 meal a day. I think that some people say, well, Bobby, you don't eat enough, you're too skinny. This is the frame God gave me, right? This is not, I think it looks really cool to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think it looks cool when I'm 200, and even cooler when I'm 215. But this is the frame God expected, He gave me, right? And I believe in a God, and this is my natural frame. I normalize around 160. But I have very little body fat, and I don't think there's any sickness in my body, right? If you know about intermittent fasting, you know about autophagy, and you know that your healthy cells, your cells cannibalize anything that shouldn't be in your body once your body hits autophagy. So between cutting down on sugar and intermittent fasting, I don't think I could be healthier today. And then throw in some jiu-jitsu and the occasional fresh coffee, or the daily fresh coffee. I eat very little meat, very little. I would say that I do my best to be a vegetarian or fruitarian. I'm going to have sushi today, but it's a veggie maki sushi. It's a veggie sushi. I will rarely have some chicken. I really am trying to get it completely out of my diet. But unfortunately, I'm still learning what I can eat here. I'm still trying to find the restaurants that are going to support my diet, and every once in a while you just need a change of pace. And I'm not in a rush. I'm not trying to do it overnight. I was a vegetarian for about 2 years, and honestly I could see trying to be a fruitarian. I got turned on to a fruitarian. I don't know if that's the correct name. I think it was something like, but someone who just eats fruits. I think the guy's name is John Rose, and my buddy Asher turned me on to John Rose. And this guy is a beast. He's an elderly guy, and he just eats fruits. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking you've never been to the Philippines and you just want to see what it's like, and you're looking at Valencia, every place in the Philippines is different. Valencia and Dumaguete are not like Cebu, and Cebu is not like Manila, and Manila is not like Davao, and Davao is not like Angeles City. I could live, Iloilo seems very nice too. It's got its drawbacks and benefits, right? Flooding is an issue there, from what I remember. But Cebu there's just too much traffic. Davao has no nightlife, which today at 51 years old, I'm not too concerned about nightlife. I don't really even try to go out to clubs. But it just depends on what you want. That's what it really comes down to. What are you looking for? I think this is pretty cool. We're approaching the rim of the city, if you will, the outskirts of the city. We've been in Dumaguete for a little bit, but downtown is up here, and that's about as bad as traffic gets. It's 1:58. It's not too hot. I don't have my arm things on today. Some days the sun is not as hot, Dumaguete is only real mall, and you can barely classify it as a mall if you're comparing it to Cebu. It's a stretch. You could move here and buy a really nice truck. Navarros are nice. I had one of those. You know, you could move here and buy a really expensive house. You could move here and buy a expensive touring motorcycle. Or you could move here and buy a modest house and have a scooter and maybe a tuk-tuk. And you could not worry about things anymore. You know, even if you have a small, modest income, the people are great. I'm still refining my issues, right? From the US, we tend to get angry a lot. They don't. Usually it's me that's being, you know, it's usually me that's getting upset. And I do work, and I've gotten so much better. I'm like, I'm proud of myself on one aspect, but embarrassed when I compare myself to them. They rarely get upset. They just are so patient, and I admire that. And I always walk away feeling like a dumbass because they're more patient than me. And we should be patient. We should learn patience. This is the melting pot right here. And I am going to park. We're going to park here. I'm going to park right up here. I don't know if you saw that. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to pretend I didn't see it myself. But such is the Philippines. All right. Back in a bit. All right, back to recording. Had a great meal. 370 pesos. What is that? It's like under $7, like $6.50 or something like that. Can't complain about that. I had miso soup, I had a veggie maki roll, I had a large iced tea. And it was absolutely delicious and fresh and healthy. Cheated a little bit on the tea, but that's okay. Overall, my diet's pretty good. And when you're fasting 18 to 19 hours a day, you can cheat a little bit. Let's tell you what, we got a little time to kill. Russi is a brand here that's fairly, oh my gosh, see, this is the problem with going into your 50s, is you can't even grab it like everyday words. Fairly common, you know, common's not really the word I was looking for, but I'll take it. It's frustrating having words on the tip of your tongue. I was here the other day. This is a nice little, I don't even know, it's like they have a second floor, but there's not a second floor. There's nothing up there. But this is like a little market of shops. I don't know what you call it. I've never asked. But you can find everything back, everything. Every little thing you're looking for, they have just tons and tons of little shops. It's okay, lady. Well, I wouldn't, you know, I was gonna let you go. You can see the ocean in front of me. So downtown Dumaguete, basically, for the most part, sits on the water. So let's go check it out. Little coffee shop there. I went into once. Socials. I couldn't find the coffee shop. It's hilarious. See how he's got to stop, but he doesn't stop. You see it? You just don't trust any sign on the road here. If you come here, I don't care if you see a stop sign. I don't care if you see a painted line on the road. I don't care if it says stop. Do not trust it. And if you're on the bigger road, if it's 4-lane and you're crossing over a 2-lane road, don't trust it. Don't think they're going to stop and give you right of way because you're on what might be considered the highway, and it doesn't work like that. They just zip across those. They think they have the same right of way, and sometimes they think they even have the right of way. And maybe they do, because this isn't America. This is probably the biggest attraction of expats. I do not come down here. I haven't been in a single club here. I have eaten there, Casablanca, with some friends. The only thing that brings me down here is up the road a good bit is where I train jiu-jitsu and teach on Saturdays. It's called Tokai BJJ, a great group of people. I'm going on an overnight motorcycle ride 2 weekends from now, the last weekend in May, and I'm sure I'll have some footage from that. It's always risky passing on the right. I've talked about this a gazillion times. And I really don't mind it's sitting in traffic. Well, let me rephrase that. The problem with sitting in traffic is that it's hot. It's hot, man. Once you're moving like this, that wind's hitting you and you feel great. I mean, there's no problems. The moment you get above 20 miles an hour, life's good. But the moment you have to sit in traffic and you don't have that breeze hitting you, sun starts to take its toll. But as you can see, it only took a few minutes to go through downtown. Right now we're on the outskirts of it, and we can go at a more leisurely pace, not so confined. That is Cebu right there, and if I were to turn around, that is Sikihor. And when Ushi is out of school in a week and a half, I am going to do some island hopping. I think I'm just going to take off on a Sirius liner on a bus and just hop around for a little bit. I've never done that. I've been to a few islands, and right over here in this Plaza Escano, did I say that right? That's where Tokai BJJ is. Look at these nets here, these This place is packed on the weekends at night. It's hard to get through here. Nothing but traffic. But it's so beautiful to be up there. I haven't eaten here, but I can imagine being on the second floor. I've eaten other places like down at the ocean. I need a boat. If you'd like to donate to my boat fund, let me know, reach out. If you'd like to donate a boat, you would, I'd put you on my super subscriber list for donating a boat. Donate a jet ski, and you'll get a badge. A Life in the PI badge, lifetime membership badge. One of the downsides, oh man, is it should be illegal, honestly, but they don't have the infrastructure to police it. And honestly, the businesses don't have the money to, you know, it would just shut down their economy. All these vehicles around here blow plumes of smoke, but luckily it just gets blown right off the island. Yeah. But you know, you really just try not to be behind them. That's the thing. So it's I try to have my last meal between 2 and 3. I think we got out of there about 2:15. And I won't eat again until after 9. So I get up at 7, I get my daughter ready, I drive her to school on the scooter. And by the time I get back to Valencia and I hit one of my favorite coffee shops up, it's after 9. So 2 to 9 is, what is that? 19 hours. And the latest I eat's 3, so it's always 18 to 19 hours fast. And personally, I don't think you can be healthier. I do not think, if you're fasting 18, well, unless you're doing OMAD, but the only reason I don't do OMAD is I would be just I'm already too skinny, right? Like, it's hot here. I do an extremely cardiovascular sport, or cardio sport. You know, I do jiu-jitsu. You burn a ton of weight doing jiu-jitsu. I'm already too light, right? Like, it always humors me when people go, you should put on some weight. I'm like, really? You don't say. I love looking emaciated. I love it. What do you mean? You don't like this look? Sure, I'd love to have a chiseled jaw, and you know, but this is the body God gave me. I've talked about that again, and I'm getting used to it. I used to do test replacement therapy, and my body responded well. You know, there was a time when I was 215. But I believe in God today, and I don't think that's what God intended for me. He said, Bobby, this is your body. It's beautiful. And I'm starting to like it. Still early. I've got 45 minutes before I can pick up my daughter, and I'm almost there. So I'm gonna look at that. Oh man, I live here. This is amazing. I live here. That's Mount Talinas. Unless I'm missing a taller one. Well, I could be wrong. Holy crap. This is a different angle than I'm used to. So the highest one here is Mount Talinas, but as I scan over that way, now I'm getting confused because this is not where I'm accustomed to identifying them from. But that backdrop, which you see all over, is just so beautiful to me. And I live right in the middle of it, right in the thick of those mountains. I've seen over there a few times, but we're not going to get a good view, I don't think. That lady turned around. What's he pointing at? Let's see, that might be Mount Talinas. Now, so I'm not sure. That might be Mount Talinas. This is a different angle than I'm used to. But that mountain might be Mount Talinas. I don't know. But it's all beautiful. Look at this big ass white building. Sorry for the French, but there are so many Airbnbs and hotels, and the foreigners just keep coming. The Philippines has one of the best growing economies in the world right now. I mean, it has really been growing good. You gotta, if you're not aware of that, do a little research. And when you have an economy growing like that, there's no better place than to own real estate, because as that economy grows, man, the one thing that's going to outperform all things, well, it's my belief, is real estate. So you don't want to own real estate in a place where the economy is going down, and you want it where the economy is going up. The price of real estate reflects it, and the Philippines is absolutely, their economy is on fire. They're smoking. The growth they have seen, if you were to see Cebu in 2010 and then see it today, you wouldn't recognize it. I get lost there. And it used to be my stomping grounds. I used to be able to go all over it just effortlessly. And now I need GPS to go anywhere. One or two routes kind of came back to me, but only because I drove them a few times. It's drastically different looking. We're just out lollygagging now. My daughter's school's back that way. And I haven't been doing too many daily rides. I mean, I do a daily ride myself every day. I haven't been filming too many. All right, we wasted some time. I went into City Mall. Just wanted to go somewhere air conditioning where I could cool off while I'm waiting for Ushi's class to let out. And again, you know, it costs you, I gave 20 pesos. See, I didn't have anything smaller, so it's like 50 cents. And that happens all the time, right? I could either not give him anything, or so I gave 50 cents today, roughly. And I wish they'd just leave our scooters alone. And that, you know, that's the frustrating part, is if you have a car, there's no charge. I had to go, well, I shouldn't say that. Some places do. City Mall doesn't. You can just go up there and park your car. There's no charge. But if I'm just going to go park my scooter and there's nothing, you know, there's a spot, I stick it in the spot. I walk back just like I did today. It's in the same spot. No one had to move it. No one had to. But they come up when you go walking out like, hey, man, it's my job to be here in the parking lot. I don't even know if that's accurate. I don't even know if they're hired. I think maybe they just go hang out in the parking lot. Some of them are, for sure, some of them are hired. But I wonder if some of them just go out there and just do it. Just do it. So we were here earlier, I think. Maybe not. We were right around here with my... Oh, yeah. We were just a little bit further up the road when my camera died. The battery went out right after I was pointing out the mountains. And every once in a while I miss my turn, but I think it's right here. I used to go a different way, and I know that way inside and out, but I really go this way more so than not, just to memorize this one. I just started using this one the other day, and just to learn all the shortcuts. And when things are blocked, they're always doing work on the roads. Roads are commonly blocked. You really have to know all the back roads around here. If you don't, you're just gonna have a hard time getting around, because they just shut down roads all the time. up here. I was talking about Mount Salinas. Anytime you're behind a car, you have to have your visor down. You can be behind motorcycles and ride without a visor, but the moment you get behind a car, the cars are heavier and they stir up a crap ton of dust. Whether you see it or not, they do. And it goes into your eyes, and then you got this, sometimes you have it in your eyes for days. Little dust, dirt, pebbles, everything. But it's not so much an issue when you're riding behind a motorcycle or a scooter. They don't stir up much. And if you're behind something like that, you definitely want your visor up, down. You want it on. So I'd say there's a noticeable difference between the air quality in Valencia and Cebu. You have way more trucks polluting the air in Dumaguete, and it's more scooter traffic and motorcycle traffic in Valencia. There's trucks, but not nearly as much, and the wind from that comes off the ocean just blows it away. So what are you waiting for, man? Seriously, like what is the issue? And it was what I was talking about earlier. There's a detour, right? They're doing road work, so they'll just, you know, one thing I've learned is that you cannot count on a road for any given period of time. If you only know one way to get to a place, good luck. Good luck. And it should be a constant goal to learn the roads, because your GPS, sometimes GPS is hit or miss. Sometimes my GPS will take me places, and sometimes it'll take you to a road that's not a road. You'd have a hard time walking it if you were on foot. It's more like a, I don't even, there's not even a word for it. It's so bad. It's beyond bad. It's absolute crap. We got 10 minutes. Go over here in the shade where there's nowhere around, and as long as you're in the shade, it's fine. It's when you're out of the shade that it's not fine. So this is Ushi's school, Montessori. There are many Montessoris. This is Simon Montessori. And again, if you can just stay out of the sunlight, which another thing that weirds me out in the Philippines is they just don't build any shade anywhere. Just like if you go to their businesses, if you go to along the road, you know, they could plant bamboo along the road, they could plant banana trees, they could plant, there's so many things they could plant that would just sprout right up, and bamboo grows fast. But look, there's no shade. They don't put anything. And this is the norm here. They just don't, they're just used to it, I guess. I can't understand why they don't. If you're not going to build shade, grow shade. They were saying the other day there were some monkeys in here. I heard the kids going, "Look, a monkey." I didn't look, but I'm guessing there's monkeys back there. All right, we'll save this battery for the trip back. All right, got Ushi on the back, 316. I don't think they like me going out to the indoor, but it's so much trouble to circle around and come through this. Look at that. It just tears up your vehicle no matter what you have. Put the visor down. Stuff like this vehicle comes through here and it just stirs up the dust. And there used to be two, so when we chose this school, yeah, figured as much. When we chose this school, there were two really quick ways to get from our house to here. And so you had two routes, Both of those routes today are under construction. They've been that way for weeks. They just tore up the road, and I just want to go, what genius, like, talk about geniuses, man. Like, just don't even look behind you. It doesn't matter if someone's doing 50 miles an hour. Just turn, just get out there. But it is the norm, right? It's the norm. I'm gonna make a video, a compilation of near deaths. It's going to be great. Just going to be back to back, super quick. 200 near deaths if I weren't a super alert driver. But going back to, you know, you have two roads to get Valencia to Cebulan really quickly. It's like a cut through that circumvents going through Dumaguete. Two. And if they're both closed, you have really a long way to go. So some genius said, hey, let's work on both of them at the same time. And they're probably, you know, 1 month projects, but you couldn't stagger them, really. You really couldn't stagger them. They just had to be done. And they block off the roads and you can't go down them. And whatever they're doing, it didn't need to be done, right, immediately. So it added on like 15 minutes to my trip each way. It's very frustrating because you know, it was part of my choice in choosing. It's part of the reason I chose Nushi School. There were multiple routes to get to Cebulan from Valencia, and they're both being worked on, both of them. It's frustrating. So you just have to slow down and say, well, however I can get there, whatever. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful. Nindot kayo, chada kayo. Anytime you're behind a close the visor. And once that crap gets in your eyes, it can be there. It'll just bug your eyes for a day. Like you'll feel the sand in your eyes for sometimes more than a day. What do we have going on here? What's the issue? I'll tell you the issue. The issue is that there was a car on the other side, and you don't know if that car is just going to pull out. So you got to slow down to 5 miles an hour, hoping it doesn't pull out because there's no street lights, there's no stop signs, and you just don't know if the other person's going to feel like they have right of way. To me, the road going straight has right of way, and the road turning into it has to wait. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're like, oh, I got right of way. They do it. They'll pull right, and I'm not even joking. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm telling you, they'll just pull right out without even slowing down. They'll just, some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen in your life, they won't even look. Like someone taught them at some point in time, the smaller road has right of way. Hey, it's okay. Whatever road is smaller has right of way. If you're on the smaller road, you just go.
Back there. Well, I took a little side street, but not. That's the direction I would have went. Way back there, I would have crossed over the street. But now we've got to go all the way back into town and turn right again. I got to do a big circle back to where I live. And there was 2 ways to go. So frustrating, so frustrating. How far out of the way I got to go. And I'm pretty sure those 2 roads being worked on are in the same municipality. They're in the same Puro. Look at that. See, no blinkers. That's what I was saying earlier. Be careful about passing on the right. Now, I've got to put, it's frustrating. See the smog? That should be illegal, especially for a massive company like this. Ceres or Sears, they're huge. And another thing I hate about these companies is look how fast they're going. I can't even speed up to go around them. And I'm getting pelted by little rocks right now. They're really just pelting me, and there's nothing I can do. He thinks he's in an F1 race, right? He's trying to make his best time. And there's nothing you can do. I can't pass in the left lane because he's in the far lane. He's already in the wrong lane. You just got to get behind him and accept the rocks. And the pollution. And sometimes I'll pull off the road and just wait 5 minutes because you can't get around these things. They'll ride in both lanes.
And see, like 20 feet of road, 20 feet. This has been shit since I've been here for 6 months. They can't, that road is called Diversion Road. It was a massive project. It's a beautiful road that goes on for kilometers. And they didn't finish 20 feet on one side. And every time you use it, you got to ride through that and it just beats your scooter to death. I've been here since January. It's been like that. It's probably been like that a year. It's like, it cost them like $20 of concrete. I'm not even joking. Concrete's so cheap here. And they can't fix it. They
can't fix it. Some things here blow my mind. Some things do, and I know I'm on a rampage right now in complaining. And let me just say, I love this country. It's beautiful. The people are beautiful. It just seems like to get into politics, you have to be very poor at planning. That's just what it seems. I'm meeting somebody. Came here the other day to Stella Properties. They have a nice restaurant. I was surprised I had their I had a pasta. What pasta was that? Oh, it was a great pasta, man. A+. I thought I was back in Italy. Didn't take too long. The service was great. They didn't have tea on the menu, but they made tea for me. I'm going to give them at least an A, maybe an A+, somewhere in there. They didn't have a lot of staff, but they had the one person did a great job. Very clean, air conditioned, very cool, very clean. I just want to go. I just want to go. If I can go, I can be cool. And not only you're forced to go slow behind them, but they kick up like 10 times the dust. Just if you get over a little bit. Tell you, it's nice to be retired. I'm on like week 3. I think this is week 3 of retirement, and I was working from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. I was getting very little sleep, and now I go to sleep when I want. I get up when I want. I go